Malungilita silse masulang Randy. Era po mo ule waigelbek el press conference ra atang el presidente rigid edi bodo dar sa susurigid ma klam edra ungil beserak el morar beklaad moda direk el madi o dar sa susurigid el mora ibodul ma raklay ma rubul belaw bilong ma ebi raklay mar masil belaw direk el atang el presidente ra senate el hokons paules mar senator sa roguy speaker House of Delegates el nga atang el sabino Anastasio mar delegates sa roguy Director Malo Garcia, susurigid el mora Madam Vice President, el director niya Minister of Justice, mar adala Cabinet Roguy, director mora State Governors, State Speakers, marogo Legislator Raigal el Balu Roguy. O director malo ring ramal goram kikayal el lungil be sarak el mora other bela Roguy, el tira oreng sertira rasyo, e omeseringira TV. Era po mo ule Randy di po daw ay sertigal tira kuktiyo rin sa ngira rasyo lo asetro at ang artialo banggether ilal litasil silgirel tial special press conference rigid maubanggether ng artiang ang niya Attorney General rigid niya Miss Ernestine Ringil direkal ng artialo banggeta Acting Director of la Police niya Detective Lieutenant John Gabriel direkal ng niya ako ratubet sa okyak sang rigid ng artiang niya Dr. Jeffrey Nine, niya medical examiner balura kwamal lobang gedel alita silsa. Direkal di po daw ay salo sengkal Dr. Nine ang artialo banggela Miss Carlara Leon Guerrero, niya former senator balura kwam, direkal niya current senior advisor al mura atang kalkabinura kwam Governor Lourdes Leon Guerrero. Direkal ng artialo banggela ngel niya National Security Coordinator gidel Jennifer Anson, maradala media al no sabi ilal me obangeda el alita suelbo al ngartial special press conference ngartial obangeda Miss Leila Niraklay ma Mr. Cambes Gasoley ma direkal Mr. Ngwakal Solava po ngora digay kita po dul al ulel tal press conference nding diswa dal miisil morar adro ko lo say sel dilub al blodo dang lir sera lu matal kab singil el alo tadir kab no mere kalongot tuli mongerul puil December 21 koraklol to ko el ngiya kora milsimar adar belaw or taigi del tokoy mang kadaklakar ringi malamol maurior logi wa Ministry of Justice ma Bureau of Public Safety yung malamol maurior ilgirel sel death incident na December 21st 2023 maul mo daw special press conference sa ilang President tangar aroy dan yung wadil klakare til follower tialurior niya amrael ulungit tangeso rakabeno rakwam algia Governor Leon Guerrero algirela skela medical examiner almervela almo kukrulise niya urela forensic pathologist artial case alblodo dong lirsegi del sils mel al sils ang madiswad al ngutial teal emrang asule la kabeno rakwam man lemre ata hensir tilal mora ong tila presidente lo ase lame medical examiner mal nga sukma martial case mang kadabek laad luliyula rarak ubs rakan eli ya Miss Carlara ma Dr. Nine lerbelar sira Sunday ulurio ra eli talsil sa algut makli sa lurio el tira mo ay sa ay gel tira sa ilo ay sa rigidel alsil sa girel and I beg everyone's indulgence. I'm just going to say a little bit in English for our non-Palauan speaking listeners. We are very thankful for the prompt response from Governor Leon Guerrero to President Whips's request for a medical examiner. We've learned since that there's only one medical examiner in the region. And while everyone was celebrating New Year's, Carlotta and Dr. Nine packed their bags and arrived in Palau on Sunday night. Carlotta is a friend of Palau, and we really welcome her back and to show Palau and the ropes to Dr. Nine. But we really are thankful for that prompt response. It is an effort to try and restore safety and security back into the community that was shaken up by the incidents that were learned on December 21st, 2023. With that said, I will turn it over to the Attorney General for the updates from herself, as well as the medical examiner, and in due course, the acting director. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody, and for all of those listening. So again, thank you to the government of Guam for sending the medical examiner, Dr. Nine, to Palau, who conducted the autopsy quickly yesterday, and we now know the results of the autopsy. Information is the name of the person is Peng Li. The diagnosis or cause of death is blunt force injuries to the head. And I'll be very brief. So those are the results of the autopsy, and maybe Dr. Nine can go ahead and just give a little bit more detailed information about his findings.
Yes, thank you for bringing me here safely on the island and quickly. I'm so appreciative of all the assistance from the delegates and the diplomats, and also the assistance I had with the autopsy. It was a very excellent facility for me to perform that, and I had excellent assistance from the funeral home employees and the investigating officers that attended. I thank you for that and for having us here and welcoming us in a great, friendly way. I did the autopsy yesterday. I provided the autopsy report to the Attorney General, the acting director, and the investigating agencies, so they know what my findings are. As was noted, I did list the cause of death as blunt force injuries of the head or blunt force head injuries, and I listed the manner of death as homicide, and I believe these injuries were inflicted on the decedent by blunt force trauma, and that led to his death. Subsequent to that, after death, he appears to have been burned, and there is post-mortem burning and charring of the body that happened after the death. That is really the extent of my findings for right now. I did do a quick drug screen test at the autopsy. I did not detect any drugs in his system at the time of the autopsy, but we will be sending further samples to a certified post-mortem forensic toxicology lab on the mainland, and they will give us those results hopefully in approximately 4 to 6 weeks is my experience. So those are the findings, and I just again want to thank everyone for being so gracious and welcoming to us and providing such an excellent service and excellent facility for me to do the autopsy and quickly provide the results to all of you. So I'll leave it at that and pass on to either the AG or the acting director for further comments.
Thank you, Dr. Deer. As of now, the case is still under investigation, and we're asking for help from the public. If you see we post a lot of flyers, the pictures of these individuals. So if you see them, please notify the Bureau of Public Safety. There's going to be a reward for any information leading to the arrest of these three male individuals and the female. And the case is still under investigation. So, I also want to let the public know that if you're aiding or you're helping these so-called fugitives or persons of interest, and you don't surrender, you don't call Bureau of Public Safety, I think you can be charged for hindering the prosecution or interfering with the investigation. And the case is still under investigation as of now. Thank you.
Direktora tilung ilbusule tim luto duli salongit del morar adrabalul direktor tor Palau mabol mataklan mortil.
Tia mora tigel guk Palau dekat suilo sa tokora bigel nakal understand cartel is the acting director of police o olgit takmal olgit ra geso kami masuporto mi adrabalu el investigation ng ma'am ngari $1,000 ludo del bora any borang information el sabel arbulis el may arrested tigal وسيشيلتا بسقوم قادرة بلو قادرة يقابلوا الكرة وبارت تيجال بلو الستوبرا وريليار بوليس ومبتئ من وبارت تيجال نسئ من متوتاك la le ngaringi ngarala o bomatra other bill malatal ban koban sulang.
Era tolong me director me timo ay sel de ngwal tira sabi elum ko dong nga raad malubal sa kubang nga kukora adingral lomtason mo kaseng mo ngos kumiti alurio ren sabi ren mo ringi o aisa.
Bal musaule chibo stafak pal wadi di mardara da gatto bralgiera da dingwa gier provai ma ka kote $1,000 obisa CID say alit division tel total investigation tel lurior ba dingwa 488-2412 diri kat sa $1,000 bla bulis 911 malum 5,000 di ma information ne mal lodurok mo adra CID diri kat sa call nga director 775-1681 kuman musulang.
Maluay se AG ang lasap ethel ti open daw la lamal nga niya kadira adram bitya pomorari gitel regel sabi el monger ma ngarasap ethel lo aisa.
Ali, Happy New Year. So I have one question for Dr. Nine, and then I have questions to the director. So my first question, Dr. Nine, is so the body was discovered on December 21, and apparently, as you said, a blunt force object. So I just wanna, can you determine the time between the blunt force and the burning body and when the body was discovered, like how many hours or?
I cannot determine that with certainty. The length of time between when the body was discovered and I've done the autopsy, in that time the body was actually frozen at the funeral home during storage for long-term storage, so that may impact some of the findings that I had at the autopsy as far as like the postmortem changes. But even with that, I believe it's less than 24 hours in that time frame, and that's probably the closest that I could say from the autopsy.
So I asked this question in the last press conference, and so when the body is burned, charred body, how long does it take, or what kind of accelerant was used to burn the body to that level of charring?
I do not have any comment about the kind of accelerant. I will say, in my experience, the body looked very burned and charred to an untrained eye from the outside. For me, this is not a very severely charred and burned body as far as like a forensic case.
Just one question also, Dr. Nile. Were there any other injuries on the body other than the blunt force that may have caused the death?
No other injuries were evident aside from injuries of the head.
Question na ako ka, Director. So, ngaring isel notice el lamot tabadil, ngari ay kel sa singer tirgel el tedel adal tira do mosiglo sa tangar ker el last press conference ko kuram la sa tirga under surveillance. Kam kwadi explain na sing mil karang e kwadi kya da do tangal tira sa tamlamor.
Malungin el kere media o yung akpal titilu ay siya isil tabi tamlar yan mo sa message they got moved from place to place, they got lost somewhere in the the alta marbulis on top of them there tomnato marbulis ka ura petyang tangan marbulis tomnato de la rebutli.
The follow-up question say the director maybe lamura HE tirga nga as of right now dakat il kom labla tir dakat il top dara blura Palau as far as the airport is concerned. Yeah, our port. Is there any way of tracking them and the top the airport without us knowing about it?
Akmadang ngaring aurel maral el girel se ele lo mesa movements are all bilas movement to badra abela ula igel kuks capability gid.
Director, gamna mention ra reward. Kamu associate yang ra reward.
Dia taltela el club ludo dengan laudo.
Na de mana oh sorry sel director ngari ngere dire mention ngil nya dire kal tactical for persons of interest ngede ka clear sel lista or lista no kwadim lagi samtal nga sel lista alak alweda kurang so se kom dengel kum kerke ngari ngi akora reor na mga to ngil malas man la information dire kal question al so kal ko askar nga se ngari ngi adal sabi idal translate at tiging tirgang malu ito translate at tiging yung mortir al so ko madam tri.
Yes, why say palkamal to ay natral mga authority the that book revela the other investigation at to is a Torah translation na we secured from Taiwan embassy ediri nga local nga rakabela di kumikadwit at Taiwan they can read and understand Taiwanese pag hindi ka speak nila ta.
Director ang alam mo subes.
Sulba director kolam la ay kolam lo origer miliwek ka director kamila information Kimilgo to na pila members sa Chinese tele mainland Chinese community ete direct kal kora ngaring ya bebira other tele Chinese community kora sel ko to tinang wal ngaring ya medal tira ta tegit tira gidal other ngat tele kom la approach tele tira kal members tele mainland China community lak mede ko se tira tira relationship gidal bantri mentri mri gidal kora approach tin dia kalo embassy wa Taiwan ngaring ya uriol kora approach gidal kora members sa community because I think ngaring ya pebirtira just by talking to some of them and tanaw ay sa kampasen to ngaring ya tamdang tira pebirtira gil adap kasi in fact ang galwa ngaring ya na adir ng uringil waseng gel dilap ila tartiring gel adala do gil waseng tamdang waseng blol ngala kwam tartira gala kora altalam kitel gala kwam they said they lack peripheral information akti they just talking to the community to kora wal ngari information at mangari ya uriol kora approach at ko gira yung question
malungil ger away ay gid information ay adim lagi mo ding way ay gid ger nga bulun may amargi mo spe elat ay gid nasu budamam magi mormurti gid elatam thank you for the information.
So director mo subes ang akmlo lusa sir question ang andit yagit tirgay gid al persons of interest tirgay terwat al ta kerebelaw tamnar outside al may al sugum tamnar outside al may ta businessman ta tourist ta tangarang
akti mi ada basic information kimi like immigration tigati tourist
tirgay mo sa amir nga
yes sige del immigration travel movement sa tira o white din da kasi bo providing nila likorong
kinada ka diplomatic relations sa gitan mablura kulsina ngani ako ra aldo to malas mal mga to ra ko tirikisel embassy til nga ra bolabil base makaras email nga ma information na malubat tarong gusto ko communicate tel guys
Hindi ka communication rebela ulmora sel China embassy da sinal nga ra IFSM yes if anything it will have to go through the Ministry of State I believe nga ringa by information mlara bolabil mlamil okay ra kal adal miltamal
Director, so nga rin gel ngel adra sinal lel tel amne gidana perngi modibu serbelaw ana nda ko dongito sel ko tingilu tigil mo ronda bilasa o tigil marahel mangaring ngel dira sinal dim neka berul modibu sel ngali dak ko ngel wasengkang mlama dalma dang ngargel ubang dibu sel ngargel so tiagi the latest incidents ya ara belu adile kel katokara wander wasi taka level 1 ra end up 1 ra igigidel end up kadukyo kalti elbang lergi dia kalsep edel sol berngi mar adel tira ultial tokoy bola kalsep edel koram ta matri re el bol face ra la ngala ko ra atigingem ligirel sa igidel kora udas luasek tiaka le bola kalsep edel kut makli
Palungil el question el mira dito mira aiga tril gagros el incident dik mo asura kami war ada media kasi diktia el altab tal del bang incident agari ali tengi still dik under investigation mende ka sa mo sa ngi mo o chapada sa incident
Tamal di last question nga ke director present takme dito social message earlier question Echi hindi nga gel Palau National Security Coordinator ngani nga kaurele dalo banggela kukwa blur Amerikel lolo nga sir kita wat ya kita case
Meron nga kang mura. Okay. Oh. Yeah. Kumadangay nga rin nga lobong kinamrigel aska ang iso tiril gilel ti algays. Tiri ka Manila hindi yes. Ma direk nga rin nga FBI nga ti albela el al time lolo nga seora adrabilla pulis el gilel so seguida kuk existing el ngesol nga namrigel merelal. Lang nga ti el al time.
Ngoram long wiltil algari mele mang direk di swadal bay direk mutal tale o ay salo ase tiada kalyagal tokoy taklol tokoy makadam lalingit tangye sura mrigel el wagel lalo ay sa AG kada direk lalingit tangye sura blura Taiwan logi usel kuk MOU blel dakat makli labang gila blura Taiwan algila tokora Ministry of Justice malmol men mga authority mumlalingat ele del mga authority ambasador at Taiwan ambasador mrigel tan nombre kal week lolingit tangye surtir ya idirek labang gila blura kwam lalo nga sergit
akti mo follow up se akti ko ugel tigal al FBI di direct kami mention ala sa press conference ko kasing me tiya ko la agal diaksal madingal toy mak ti ugel ni kom dilo ko kasing mengel forensic pathologist na Taiwan anding kay tanggal ano me tiya ko si sino diar mong sing mlam katmok ni $1 ngel pathologist tang
ay say malungil kaya kadumral mila rangel na Taiwan hindi ka duruspe ramre del me akwa mal sulang kablamen trakwa ma doctor ni most of it respond mera atial tanganing situation nila. Thank you government of Guam and Dr. Ni.
Oy. Ngawak latila malungil garel mulgerigi ngal Dr. Nine he's a medical examiner by position ndinga forensic pathologist so he's Dr. Jeff Nine.
Andim na yagi dia akaramam me ko mamsulang
Maloy say kumal masulangan metun in loreng sertial special press conference ranti kumal masulang ka ma timarigitra ngarel belaw maradra media rokoy. Thank you everyone for joining this afternoon's press conference.